reflecting you. This is Rogers Community Television, London.
Welcome back. Joining me now is Jennette D'Haene, and Donald is the arts editor of Scene magazine. Welcome to the show, Donald.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
Thank you. I just wanted to know a little bit about, I guess you're going to talk about what it's like to be an arts editor, but first of all, let's start with Scene magazine itself, and perhaps what is the main focus of the magazine, what's it all about?
Well, the magazine is an arts and news magazine, so the focus is wide-ranging. But there's 3 editors, and I'm the arts editor, and there's a news editor and a music editor. And we have meetings, and we discuss, what we're going to put on the cover and what we're going to feature in the next issue.
Okay. So you all have sort of an equal say in what gets put in?
Oh, yes. Well, we work together, and we share ideas, and it really works well.
Okay. So how did you get into this sort of line of work?
Well, I've always been a writer. I mean, I kept a diary when I was younger, and I loved writing letters. And then I decided to freelance. I wrote a column in '89 and '91, and I just decided to keep upgrading. Doing something new, trying new things. I'm a jack of all trades. I like to try everything. I had a stint as a DJ, and I produced and acted, and I think that's given me a particular kind of spin on the arts community, having experienced a wide range.
Probably helps you a lot through the networking process with getting the stories and such. So are you involved in actually setting up the stories with reporters as well?
Yes. We're, writers can pitch their ideas, but I like to create new ideas, and like, for example, I'm going to be doing a cover story on the Macaulay brothers. That's a London group, and I think that they are ready to just hit the big time. And Scene magazine likes to do what it can to promote new artists and artists that are, in the community.
So how much of an opportunity do you get being an editor to actually do some creative writing yourself?
I think it's so important for the editor to do, constantly keep working at the craft, as an example to your writers. And so I have a passion for writing. I mean, I love writing. I always keep up my writing, and I think it's important to do that. And but on the other hand, I like the stories that are presented from writers, and that when you combine the two, you come up with a ace product.
So are you involved also in choosing the reporters for the magazine?
Yes, I'm able to, people can send in the material ideas, and definitely, with my contacts in the community, I'm able to bring new people on. But we have a great bunch of writers already that I'm sure to be using.
So what sorts of things do you look for in a writer for a magazine such as this?
I think that every editor looks for something different, but what I absolutely look for is passion. A passion and an honesty. To me, when I read something, there's such a difference in writing, and if it's from the heart, it means so much more. So that's what I look for.
Yeah, you can really tell when somebody throws themselves into it.
Absolutely. When you read an article or a review, if it's just a repeating of the story, I hate that. That's one of my pet peeves, is telling the plot. Tell them what, everything but the plot. That's my thing. And I think that if you come from the heart, you can't lie, and the audience can see that.
That's true, yeah. Very true. Now, for Scene magazine, what would you say then are some of the most interesting stories that you've experienced?
I really enjoyed reviewing Stratford's plays, and I went to the Victoria Playhouse in Sarnia, which is a hidden gem. It's so beautiful. It's state-of-the-art, modern playhouse that people don't know about, and I think that's one of the things with Scene that we want to do, is promote, places that are hidden and not so well known. But I would say the scoop of all scoops is I was able to get the last Diane Haskett interview before she disappeared.
That's good.
And we had the first part that in our last issue, but tomorrow we're having the second part. And I am a writer and art editor, and I happen to be gay, and I thought it was, when you asked what do I bring to it, I like to bring different twists, and I wondered if she would be willing to be interviewed by someone from the gay community, and from a journalist standpoint, because I don't take sides. And she was totally willing. And I think it turned out to be an excellent interview.
Very unbiased that way.
Yes.
Sort of
Let the audience decide, and I think that's the journalist's approach.
So if someone wants to become an editor or an arts editor, how do they go about doing such a thing?
Well, in my case, how I started with Scene, I first was reviewed by them several times, and I just, without knowing it, I mean, I didn't know that I was going to become an arts editor, but I am fascinated with the production. I would study it without realizing that that's what's going to be my goal. And at one point, I just said, hey, I've got this idea for a story. I'd like to put it in. And they said, no, we already have something, but can you cover this? And I go, yeah, whatever. Hey, so that's my attitude. Like, I'll just take anything on. And that's what it started with, like about 6 months ago.
So you sort of caught their attention?
Yeah.
That's great.
And I'm willing to do anything. I mean, you know, you don't get picky and choosy.
Yeah, you
and
can't really
just learn the ropes. And that's how I did it.
So with Scene, how well known is Scene? What area does it cover?
Oh, there's 20,000 issues are printed for each issue. So, and they're all over, like the wide range, like in the London area, and they're at bookstores and record stores, and these 20,000 are seen by other people because they're left in places in which other people can read them. So it's a wide-ranging audience.
Great.
And I think that's what I love, is the fact that the written word is, I think it's so powerful and far-reaching.
Yes. People really pay attention. I mean, even the people that say they hate the media really pay attention to what is said.
Absolutely.
And they believe a lot of what is said. Now, what do you hope to see for the future of Scene? What do you hope to see happening?
I see a lot of things happening, and I think that what I could bring to Scene is, because I'm familiar with the community, and I have ins and outs, and I want a buzz, an arts buzz, and so that I'm the contact, and I will be able to, you know, highlight different things that are coming up and get the first word out. And I think that there's a place we have a local paper that presents one kind of thing, and we have a different thing, and I think there's a place for both.
Yeah. Do you find that you get a lot of people calling and wanting to provide stories for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that, and we'll see in the near future, everyone's going to want to get into Scene magazine.
Yeah. Because it's just got such a wide range of viewing audience.
And fair and an alternate viewpoint.
That's great. Now, for someone who is a journalist, this is a personal thing I want to ask you. What would you say is most important for someone in the journalism field to keep in mind throughout their career?
That's a good question. And I feel very strongly about this. I believe that a degree cannot make a good journalist. See, I graduated from the University of Life, and no one can get a degree for that. So I believe that if a person is taking university courses to become a journalist, you must work. You must do what you can, and I suggest volunteering in writing, not expecting a paycheck. I think that's the best practice.
Have you ever considered getting into TV?
Oh, absolutely. Like, there's nothing I would want to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great attitude to have in journalism, because I think a lot of people get focused in a certain area and they just sort of stick to that, and they end up being disappointed because it's so hard to find jobs in the field today.
Oh, definitely.
Do you want to show your magazine, actually?
Yeah.
Sorry. Just hold up to camera there.
Yeah, and this one, this is the election Halloween issue that was out 2 weeks ago. And we're continuing the election coverage in the next one with the Diane Happy interview. And we, review theater productions and classical music and CD reviews. And
so this is mostly local in this area?
We also do film reviews from a Toronto film critic.
Great. Wonderful. Well, it's been wonderful talking to you today. And you're definitely an inspiration to aspiring journalists.